Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Oi, Joy.
Hey, Bob.
What's up, Buttercup?
Oh, we're doing a whole continuous thing. Okay, great.
Oakley dokley.
No. Just because some man was trying to relate to you,
He was trying to relate to me.
in your whiteness by saying Oakley dokley.
Yeah, a black gentleman was talking to me today, and he used the term Oakley dokley with me, but did not use the term Oakley dokley with Joy.
Not at all. Not at all.
So
he caters his greetings to his crowd.
So yes, so obviously white speak. So there's that.
I just had something quick a quick reminiscence, if you will. An extended what the white.
Can't remember when.
Okay, good, great.
What the white?
So we just had Thanksgiving not that long ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about the first time that I celebrated that holiday with white people. And the two disappointments that occurred unexpectedly.
Okay.
First, you load your plate up with the normal foods, the turkey, the dressing, blah blah, and it was the soggy stuffing.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this monstrosity? Everybody else was thrilled for it.
And it has like congealed looking stuff on it.
Does.
Yeah, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, oh, it's so good. You got to try it. False.
Mm-mm.
And then, the end of the meal, I get all excited because I see what I know in my heart is sweet potato pie. See, you know where this is going.
Oh, I know exactly where it's going. It's going straight to Pumpkinville.
And I bite into it, and I'm like, that's not sweet potato pie at all. Because I think what our white listeners will not have pondered.
Right.
Most of you have probably only ever lived in a pumpkin pie world, so you don't know. You can't imagine growing up in a world where only sweet potato pie is a thing.
Right.
And then it's like an evil switch.
Right. And
it's
but
trickery.
then I feel like a lot of people erroneously
Ooh, look at you.
think that they include the same spices as well, and they do not.
We did learn that lesson.
Well, we learned that lesson, but we
other
knew
people,
that
yeah.
lesson.
We did already know it.
What we learned was that people will try to make a sweet potato pie
For sale.
to taste like a pumpkin pie.
And it's horrible.
And it's horrible.
I threw the whole thing out.
So, like, I luckily grew up with a grandmother who made both, and they neither tasted, but they tasted good separate. And, like, my grandma was like a sweet potato pie, Christmas type. You know, it was ham at Christmas, turkey Thanksgiving. There were separations of things, but like every once in a while you get a sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving. But she at least made both. So
nice.
My grandma also lived on a farm and grew up with like 12, siblings. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you gotta learn how to cook every food under the sun.
Cook every food, and she makes the best mashed potatoes. I don't give a fuck who's out there making mashed potatoes. If Jesus came to Earth with mashed potatoes, I wouldn't fucking want his mashed potatoes, because they'll never taste as good as my grandma's, and she won't ever tell anybody how to make them because she doesn't know how she makes them. She just does it.
But she's gotta have a secret apprentice at some point. No, she won't accept.
I mean, I was her secret apprentice for me and my cousin Emily. She would teach us like 50s and 60s dances.
Okay.
So we learned some applicable
skills,
like housekeeping skills, because whether she didn't teach me how to make mashed potatoes, but she taught me how to do the mashed potatoes. So like that's
so practically the same thing.
Practically the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and
there
gravy
you go.
on my mashed potatoes. It's a dance too. Yeah. So I think what we're getting to the point in the what the white is that I don't know. It's bait and switch though. I mean, like if you pumpkin pie and a sweet potato pie, at first glance will look exactly
They
like
do.
each other.
They have very similar
Mhm.
coloring, and you
I would
actually
imagine
have.
a yam pie would probably have the same look to it as well.
I just feel like you have to do some further examinations, but just as a PSA,
Mm-hmm.
get your finger ready over the button.
Which one?
Don't ever buy your pie from Meyer.
The shit you didn't know.
Yeah, that one's too new for me. I was like, is she gonna make? Oh,
He's
she
like,
looking at
"Where's
one
the-
of some
which
of these
one?"
other things. What's going on? Is it science? So Thanksgiving's over.
Yep.
Let's recap life. Since we had a podcast last, we got a new president.
Yep.
It's real. Let's
It's-
just move on and
it's
get
really
over it.
real.
Let's go. And so, yeah. Um, we had a little. We had one of our listeners, Krista. Hi, Krista's listening to our
Hi.
podcast chronologically, and won't be listening to this one until 2022. So
You told me that, Nyla.
But when she gets there, she will know that we actually did reference the things she wanted to bring up in this episode 2 years ago. So it was an episode 2 years ago that we talked about the state of the world, essentially, and where we were at with things. We were praying for RGB to continue to exist. We had said stuff about Donald Trump being horrible president. So, like, her point was good. It was like, go back and kind of listen to this podcast and see where we are today. So
Right.
that was a nice, like,
It was kind of wild to revisit.
yeah, because it's like we're sitting there like, holy shit, like, wait, was this even 2 years ago? Because, like, I mean, we've been doing the podcast for 2 years, almost 2.5 years.
Mhm.
The radio show
show.
was 4 years ago. Is when I started the radio show on Thanksgiving night 4 years
Right.
ago. So
It's crazy.
don't grow up, kids. Don't grow up.
Do not do that.
And if you're listening to this podcast and you had sex with me, or you have talked to me about having sex, I do appreciate that you listen to my podcast still. Happy birthday. Just a shout out to
Right.
a grinder message last night, so it was very appropriate.
Oh
So
my God.
today,
Mhm.
it's today, but it's at night because it's after the daylight savings. Oh my God. Which we never figured out for poor Sam. Sam, unfortunately, didn't make it.
So silly.
No, just joking. Sam's perfectly fine. He's just not on this episode. But we were going to talk about questions.
We were going to ask questions of each other that we haven't previously asked.
And maybe that we don't even know about each other.
Right. These questions are a secret.
Secret questions.
Secret questions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you want me to start with the one that was a catalyst for you? That, like,
yeah, let's do that.
so, joy
Bob.
with a Y. What was your favorite pencil
Yes.
in grade school?
I love that you asked me this. My favorite pencil. Most of the girls, I've been informed, also the gays,
Gays and girls.
will remember
Yes.
this amazing precursor, first generation mechanical pencil, if you will,
Yes.
that had each little pencil nub like came out, and you would feed it into the top of the pencil when it started to get dull and get the next sharp one.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, once you would use too much of the thing, you remember this problem?
Yeah.
You'd put it in and it wouldn't fill back up all to the
All
top,
this
so
top.
they didn't. It was the first generation. They hadn't thought that part through.
Yeah.
But it would have little characters and things on it, cutesy
Yeah.
colors.
I think they actually started making the nubs longer than to where they would still come down and push into it.
Did they?
But yeah, I exactly know your problem. And also, my problem was, as a person who would draw when I was a kid, if it wasn't sharp enough, I'd have to switch to the next one, and that would mean basically just as soon as it started getting dull. So those pencils were wasteful for me.
Yeah, those weren't meant for you.
No,
But they were fun.
they were fun. Because if nothing else, the 80s gave you things you didn't necessarily ever want or think you knew you wanted.
Right.
Like, green mustard, green ketchup, what purple mustard, whatever that shit was going on in the 80s that made someone decide to change the color of things you loved,
Just
but
for no reason.
just for no reason. And I feel like if the 80s never happened, we wouldn't have pumpkin spice everything. Like, I don't know if I should blame it, get into a time machine and kill it, or like what, but like yeah, if nothing else, the 80s was a great decade of inventions for no necessity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in line with those pencils,
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask you a question now.
Okay.
It's very serious. I want you to think. Hello Kitty, Karopi, Bats Maru, or if you're really fancy, Pachaco or Peckle.
Now what the fuck? First of all, Joy. If y'all didn't know, those are all Hello Kitty characters or Sanrio characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hello Kitty and I are the same age. So like, and you know I collected Hello Kitty stuff.
I too.
But I severely identify with Bats Maru's personality.
I knew that was going to be, I was like, that's the real truth of it all.
Yeah, Bats Maru was like the moodiest little penguin ever. And I loved every one of them. But yeah, even My Melody, Hello Kitty sister, I loved all those characters. But like, Bats was like, I have a little book somewhere of photos of people's photos, like school type photos that I cut down and made into school size photos of people. That is a Bats Maru photo book. I also have a tiny little address book in my like box of shit from my past, which is a Bats Maru address book.
Nice.
So yeah, I was all team him.
All team him.
Yeah.
I was
or
team
them. I don't know if necessarily Bats Maru has a gender.
True. I was team Karopi.
Okay, I can see that.
Because green was always my fave when I was young. I had the plastic Karopi wallets.
Okay.
Remember those plastic wallets that we all had? Bless our hearts.
She says that as if I didn't have Hello Kitty wallets in my 30s. I literally had a collection of Hello Kitty wallets.
That's for you to disclose. I wasn't going to share with others. It's fine. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my first question. You've had your first question. Next. Hit me.
So, I have a question for you. This is a little more serious, but it's interesting.
Okay.
This is to bring out to know something about a person. Would you, Joy, because I'm not talking to Bob, would you open an envelope that has the date of your death inside?
Yes. Yes, I would. People who say no to that
lie.
Well, not only is it a lie, that's a waste opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, because if you know, what if what's written in there is like 3
The shit you didn't know.
But like, what if the date that's in there is like 3-6 months from now?
Right.
That's perfect because immediately quit my job. What am I gonna pay rent for? Evict me. By the time you evict me, I'm dead. Good luck. I won the game of life.
I mean, we were both talking about not working for a living as our new job. And that's the thing. I agree with you, obviously, for multiple reasons, as we've talked about, that I won't rehash on a podcast. But I would love to know when this ends.
Yeah.
That would be amazing to me. And like my luck would be like when I'm 99 years old. I'll be like my father and have, all kinds of diseases and be on oxygen and like all these different medical issues since the 80s and still be perfectly alive.
Very robust elderly man.
Yes.
That is like
the most
nightmare.
angry.
That's absolutely the most angry at that point with justified reason. Quick side note.
Yeah.
I recently saw this video where this guy was like, I'm 34 and the other day I was getting up and I heard a crick in my knee, and so I'm just wondering when that's going to go away. And he didn't even get the whole thing out, and I just started hysterically laughing, and I was like, Oh, Sweeticums. That's just a thing you do now.
Yeah. Those are just the noises you will make.
It's not when does it stop, it's when does it start increasing to all the time.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like an old house. Your body isn't basically an old house.
Yes.
Like the longer it exists, the longer it settles into the earth, the more creaks it's going to be, the gappier it's going to be, the more breezes you're going to feel. Like there's all kinds of things you can't re-insulate. You can't like it can never be what it was at the beginning.
Right. If your body was a movie, it would be The Money Pit with Tom Hanks.
Absolutely. Don't forget Shelley Long. Don't ever fucking forget Shelley Long.
I know. I'm sorry.
She's a horrible human being and she deserves every credit she can get. I don't know. I've heard she's a horrible person, but Troop
Okay.
Beverly Hills, man. Troop Beverly Hills.
Quick detour,
Yeah.
as we will take. Listen, people who listen know
My
that's
detour
part of
life.
why. Yeah, my detour life. I like that. All right. Oh, I gotta tell you that mine aren't really serious. So
Okay, well I'll keep the serious. You keep the.
No. Here we
Okay.
go. Okay, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off and give you this. I've done a variation of this, but it's too bad. As a punishment for your crimes, you have to give up one. Choose wisely because our friendship depends on it. Tori Amos, Fiona Apple, Estero.
I have to give up one.
You have to give up one.
You're a fucking beast. Not knowing that this is actually 20-year anniversary, can we get some applause of me and Joy's friendship? Is December 2000 when we
That's true.
met.
Absolutely.
And we met and we talked about these
Music.
three, like
Mhm.
these artists that we loved. So that was like a building block for us. Oh, fuck, Joy.
I know.
It might be silence for the next 25 minutes of this podcast.
You're like, well, folks, that's all the time we have for questions. Just rip the Band-Aid and say it.
Estero.
I'm an oracle. I knew you were going to choose that one.
I just because less music, right? That's my logic.
I did know that.
I'm like stepping stone down, Tori, Fiona, Estero. Less albums, less music, but I love
less heartbreak.
less heartbreak. Yeah, yeah. Even though if anybody's on my Instagram, they know that I've been like posting pictures of myself with Estero songs because I'm in the Estero mood.
Nice.
So thanks for ruining that for me. Sorry, Estero, if you're listening out there anywhere. I'm very sorry. That's rude. Would you be friends with yourself?
Ooh. Well, okay. Here's why that's a hard question. Because part of me wants to say no because I feel like that's the more right answer. But I'm going to say yes because only I am enough of a bitch to love and befriend myself. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way for me not to say yes. I'm petty as fuck. She's petty as fuck. I got attitude. She got attitude.
I love that she's saying all this as a secondary person, as if we're not extremely similar human beings.
Well, we are.
And
Well,
we're
that's the other
friends.
thing. That's the other reason why it's a yes. Is we put up with each other for 20 years.
True.
Feel.
But,
Uh-huh.
because I would you fuck yourself?
Nah.
Huh?
Probably not.
Not even slight.
I mean,
Not even
if it's
schoolgirl
slow
nights,
going.
sleepovers.
If it's slow going. But it depends. Did I have chocolate that day? Because
I
if I did,
mean-
then no. Hard no.
Damn. Okay. What's your next horrible question?
All right, here's my next horrible question. Horrible 80s fashion. You are forced to forever wear either leg warmers or jelly shoes.
What she doesn't know, folks, is that Bob was actually shopping on Zappos for jelly-inspired shoes.
No, you weren't. Shut up.
They look like tennis shoes, but they also look like jellies. It's sort of like Crocs.
Okay.
But So I have to get rid of one or the other?
Gotta get rid of the other.
Well-
and you have to wear the one that you've chosen, like all the time.
Well, we both know I'll go out into, like, everywhere, like, with no shoes on.
Basically.
So I also have, like, I like to be barefoot all the time.
Right.
So I don't feel that leg warmers would be applicable to me because I will, like, wear shorts at any time. My body temperature has to be like 45 degrees. So
It's true.
I would probably wear jellies.
Okay.
And at this point in my life, like, why not? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they even made them in my size. Maybe a woman's 12. It's
Right.
a big jelly.
That is. That is.
I mean, but you'd have to replace them quite often because jellies don't last that long.
No.
I'll stick with jellies.
Okay.
It's basically barefoot.
It's sweat either way. It's like, do you want sweaty calves or you want sweaty
Sweat.
feet?
Yeah, if you want, like, your palms sweat on the bottom of your feet. Do you ever get the feeling that a day has been repeated 100 times? Like you've actually lived that day multiple times?
No, not the day. Like a chunk, but not a full day. You know what I mean? Like there's just enough variation in the matrix. It's not the same, but like a good 3-hour chunk, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. What Joy doesn't know is that I'm using questions to help you understand someone psychologically. I'm evaluating her based on that.
Oh, I am absolutely positive.
And that question actually means you find your life meaningful.
Oh, okay. So if I had to answer the other way,
It would mean that you
I got you.
don't find meaning in your life.
Oh, well, look there.
Huh.
A little depth in our episode, kids. All right, I got a quick one, so you got to let me do 2 in a row.
Okay.
Is it gross or grody? Really, I just wanted to take you back in time.
Well,
Do you remember grody?
I remember Grody. I remember Grody Brody. Hey Grody, hey Grody Brody. How's it going? Yeah, I mean, like, that was a total 80s word.
Yes.
Like, grody.
You are so grody.
Totally. Tubular. Gag me with a spoon.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, here we go. Normal from heartbreak to take question.
Okay.
Best dick you ever had? 20s, 30s, or 40s?
Best dick?
Dick. When did it happen? Which decade?
I will say 40s only because I think you would agree with me because you know everything every time I have sex with anybody that I use best dick I've ever had quite often as a measuring point, or best at sucking dick, best at eating at, like, best, qualifiers for people. But I would probably say my 40s actually.
Okay.
No, were they in their 40s? That's a whole nother subject.
It is, and we don't have that question on my list.
We don't have it on the list. That's too bad. All right. So we're gonna make up a relationship. Let's say you're in a relationship.
Okay.
I don't even know this question. We're gonna pick this question apart after it's over. But if your partner would never find out that you accidentally cheated on them, would you tell them that you accidentally cheated on them? Air quotes. We need an air quote. Air quotes.
Air horn, air quotes. Okay. So in this scenario, it has to be that I would have cheated. So if they would never find out, would I tell them?
What did you tell them?
No. No. Here's
Okay.
why.
Yeah.
Because if figure somebody would actually do that, and then you want to tell them. I would assume two things. One, you just don't want to stay in that relationship anymore. You're ready to give up
Right.
because that's basically
Mhm.
their get out of jail card. And two, you're really trying to not have to live with it yourself, right?
Right.
So you empty it out to the other, vomit it onto them, so now it's their fucking problem. So no, I wouldn't.
Okay. Now, part B.
Oh, there's a B. Okay.
How do you accidentally cheat on
You
somebody?
don't. That's the whole fucking point. But you just said. That's
I
the
was
thing.
just like reading that question. I was like, I have to bring up that point.
No, it's
like,
a valid point. But I thought we were
where
in
in
an
the
action
tripping
movie.
does the dick fall into the vagina?
I thought it was like an action movie where you just accept the premise. But yeah, how do you accidentally? Every time it was an accident. No, it wasn't, sweetheart. Not possible.
Cheaters. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Do you have another question for me?
I do. It's similar to the last one.
Uh-oh.
Now, because it's different. Okay.
1998, best vagina.
No.
Okay.
Nobody
20s.
cares about the best vagina you had. Had
Okay.
like 3. Best.
Harsh 4.
Best kisser you ever had. 20s, 30s, or 40s.
Um. Hmm. I feel like my 30s just needs to be taken off the table for this,
Okay.
this discussion. So it's the 20s or 40s.
I hear you.
Not insinuating anything for anybody,
No,
but I
it's
spent
fine,
a bulk of
but
my
it's-
30s in one relationship. So,
Yeah.
40s as well.
See,
I'm a
that's-
Kim Cattrall, man.
You.
I'm a slut in the city, and I don't care. Like,
See, you are. But like mine, best kisser, 40s, best sex, 20s.
who?
But here's the thing. Here's why. Here's
Okay.
partially why.
Okay.
You know more the older you get.
Right.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But you have so much more energy in your 20s, and I'm telling you that's worth a lot. As somebody who knows something,
Yeah.
if you have a partner that's already been practicing, that's read as they're a hoe, and you still have the energy of your 20s. Oh, absolutely, hands down.
Do you think this is why younger people hit on me? Because I'm experienced?
Absolutely. I think that's part of it.
It's not because of my flawless skin.
I mean, I thought that was already a given.
Given. And I hope somewhere out there somebody is saying that the best dick they ever had was me, and that the best kisser that they ever had was me. So if you are and you're listening, you can, give me feedback. So Joy, this has been fun.
Yes.
This is our last episode of From Heartbeat now. For 2020, y'all, we're gonna be doing our annual
New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolutions for others,
Yes.
where we offer things that people can change about themselves in the next year. I'd like to offer that as something that if you have one that you would like for us to be the bad guy and put out there in
Yeah.
forever world, which is podcast, history, we will gladly put that out there and not use your name if you prefer. So if you have a New Year's resolution that you would like other people to adapt, maybe it's hurtful towards one of us, maybe it's not. I don't know. You could maybe have resolutions for me and Joy.
Ooh, that'd be a twist on our show.
That'd be a twist.
It
but
comes back on us.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know, because I really didn't like Sam's attitude towards me in the last episode. Like, Sam and I are friends, but like Sam he was really being almost abusive.
I mean, he was drunk on power from thinking it was his podcast.
Definitely. He was sitting at the head of the table. He felt the power, but yeah. All right, Joy, anything else?
No,
Nothing.
nothing else.
Okay. Well, I guess we're done. Wait.
What?
Never mind.